Did you think Africa didn't have billionaires? Well, you were wrong. There are millionaires and even billionaires sprinkled throughout Africa, and today we'll be covering what it's like to be a billionaire in the country of Kenya. Find out how one becomes a billionaire in Kenya and what you buy with your money on this episode of Luxury Land. If you're new to the land, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and absolutely obliterate that like button so that we can continue to inspire you by bringing you the luxury content you deserve. We'll start with a political figure. Gideon Moi was the longest serving president in Kenya from 1978 to 2002. He was a very controversial figure, but managed to build a 2.8 billion fortune, which ironically is the source of his controversy. He amassed most of this wealth by investing in every single Kenyan industry. Before all the riches, Daniel lived in a small 2-bedroom house with his wife and kids sleeping on the ground level while he slept on the top. He even had a seat in the home that was reserved for him 24 hours a day, and no one was allowed to sit in it, even when he wasn't there. He obviously had the mindset of a very important person before the come up. Whether it was healthy or not is a different story. Daniel worked at the Kenyan State House, which was nothing special appearance-wise, but then retired in a more luxurious residence in Nairobi. Now, hundreds of millions of dollars were stolen during his time in office. These funds went to family members like his son Gideon Moi, who was worth $500 million at one time. All those nights of sleeping on the ground level turned out to be worth it. The family has properties in 28 countries like South Africa and the US. Let's not forget the hotels in London, ranch in Australia, and multi-million-dollar penthouse in Knightsbridge, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Today, the family is worth $7 billion altogether. I wonder what percentage is embezzlement. Taking a step out of politics, we'll look at how the businessmen of Kenya live. Karubi was a Kenyan businessman and industrialist who had luxurious taste. Karubi had an ultra-modern 750 square meter Scandinavian home with several bedrooms. The house is decorated with orange and cream color schemes from the interior to the exterior, and the 5 bedrooms located on the property are some of the best places to sleep in the country. The unique feature of the property is the collection of giant plants lined throughout the house, most notably by the 2-level infinity pool. Karubi had solar panels cover the house, and everything runs on solar power. The house is estimated to be somewhere around $12 million. Karubi also dabbled in luxury cars, owning a $200,000 Mercedes-Benz Maybach, customized Bentayga W12, and a Range Rover. Karubi was also a philanthropist. He started Ask Karubi, where the youth of Kenya could ask him questions directly and receive mentorship, and donated his wealth to similar causes throughout the years. Karubi passed away in 2021, and it's a shame because he seemed like a genuinely good person. More on Kenyan billionaires that do good for the community. Bimji Dipar Shah is the founder and chairman of the Bidco Group of Companies, a Kenyan family-owned manufacturing business operating in 13 different countries. This family chooses to invest their money in the infrastructure of urban areas of Kenya, for example, spending $200 million on an industrial park in Nairobi. Not every Kenyan billionaire falls victim to corruption and greed. This family doesn't want to show off with glitz and glam. They're all about the betterment of their communities. Okay, so philanthropy, blah blah blah. Let's get into some more luxurious properties, shall we? Let's swing on over to the Jimmy Wanjiji estate. This is a classic Chinese-style property on the outside, but the aesthetic on the inside has an unorthodox mix of styles from all around the world. It's like the UN of houses. For instance, the pool area has a Mediterranean style, but it's still very beautiful. The house includes a massive dining room, luxury furniture everywhere, and resembles a museum. Jimmy also has a massive home theater for 20 people, private basketball court, and wet bar. Let's not forget the tinted glass on the window for security. Oh, and Jimmy also has a safe house located inside the property where he once hid when the police raided his home. Why the police raided his home, I don't want to know, but I do know the home is worth somewhere around $10 million. Simon Kabu is the genius that created Bonfire Adventures in Kenya. This company sets up safaris and tours all across Kenya and is a very successful company to say the least. He and his wife Kim are local celebrities, and Kim bought their house as a multi-million-dollar birthday gift for her husband. It's a 5-bedroom, 2-story home that doesn't look too appealing on the outside, but what it lacks there, it makes up for on the inside. A tour of the home will show off its chandeliers, beautiful furniture all throughout their abode. This is Kenyan royalty indeed. Kenya is the 5th richest country in Africa with a GDP of $269.29 billion. I think we'll keep seeing more and more wealthy people pop up here, like William Ruto, who is the Kenyan deputy president. He went from broke salesman to one of the richest men in Kenya, worth $250 million. He bought a 28-acre property with a helipad and airstrip and constructed an artificial lake on it. I mean, that's pretty impressive. All this talk about Kenya, but what do you think the richest nation in Africa is? And would you want to see a video on it? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, click a video on the screen to watch something you haven't seen. And thanks for visiting Luxury Land.